Hi, and welcome to Flatville Fantasy Podcast Show for this week, week 11. For starters, I just want to say congratulations to Ryan Braun, MVP. Oh, so excited about that. Anyway, um, some big things happened this week, some not so big things happened. Stat Attack's back for this week. I wrote a whole bunch of junk down. I'm pretty excited about that. But to get right into the matchups for this week, starting with your championship belt man, Mitch Pritchard, our number one guy in the league, had the number one week of the league by far with 142. Didn't really need to get 142 versus Brendo, but doubled the score, almost got 100 more points than him. Brendo definitely has checked out since I don't know how long ago. Um, in week one, Mitch scored 149 against him. This in the rematch 142, and this is a rematch week. So going into next week, which is it does matter for you, Mitch. You're pretty much almost set for the playoffs the way everything's working out, but you got some question marks with Fred Jackson and Vic, so that should hurt you. Kind of open the door up for Fred. You're still playing for a bye, which is huge. Yeah. Uh, don't really need to even check into Brendo's team. But moving on to the other matchup, revenge for the Burrs. When they scored zero against me, I could have had them score zero against me this week, but I did not run my team very well, bringing backup quarterback for the Chiefs, but I thought the Patriots secondary sucked. So didn't matter. Denver and Kirsten 107 over me 88. Big win for you guys. You did not have enough points to rely on, and now you are making up for that in wins. So, attaboy. Anchor. Your next matchup, Apollo winning 91 over Kai 74. Gigantic, huge. Can't even express how big of a win that is for you, Apollo. And just the opposite for you, Kai. Horrible loss. Kai, you're going to need a lot of help to get into the playoffs. Apollo, you just going to need to win. You're going to have to beat out the rest of us 6 and 5 guys now. Points wise, you're not looking that great. Apparently so, but it's very slim numbers. Kai, you do not have enough points, and now you do not have enough wins. So, watch out. Especially with Apollo, you're set. This win is so huge because this is your last hurdle before you get into the Brendo Pete matchup. Pete's kind of crazy, but Brendo, you should win that one. So you're looking real good. Don't do that, please. Kai, you got a bunch of injuries. You're at 500. Not looking good. Just gonna leave it at that with you. Your next matchup, Bill, big win over Bunker. Not showing up. Bunker's pretty consistent usually. It's the first time under 100 in a long time. Only one other time this week. So I'm not sure what happened there. Bill, you got big injury news with Adrian Peterson. Going against Pete next week, so I don't know what Pete is going to show up, but with the Vikings not being in it in the playoffs, so I'm pretty sure they're going to rest those guys. But yeah, Bunker, you got me next week, so that should be a big matchup. Still looking good with though Bunker with all your points, and looking real good for you, Bill, with more points now even. So nice 116 and a good win there, dude. Real good for the playoffs. Jason getting a win over Pete, who got the MVP. Stafford, who pretty much got half his points. Pete's crazy. Just ask Mitch. He's been paying attention to this. Pete is an active guy. He drops kickers, adds kickers that are injured, switches running backs in a good move, but then doesn't play a wide receiver. I don't know. He's active, but it's kind of weird. I don't know what's happening with his team, but that's Pete. He's a wild card. That's what his job is from now on. Yeah, this is just a gigantic win for you, almost a must win for you, Jason. But now it just becomes a huge race for that last playoff spot. So, nice win. You got some tough matches, but I'll get into Stat Attack later on. Brian versus Jordan. Jordan 84, Brian 64. This is a who got away with one, who cares matchup of the week. But you definitely wouldn't have won against a lot of people, Jordan. So that's crazy. No QB approach. I should have went with that. Maybe I would have won. Probably not. Moving on. Ja Man, the Giant Killer, taking down Jameson 106-96. Second time he's taken down a #1 ranked team. That is incredible. Ja Man is a force to reckon with, and he wants to stay in this playoff hunt. That's Ja Man's style. But Jameson, like I'll get into here for the next time, has a tough schedule in front of him, including butting heads with Mitch. So you gotta watch out for that. Ja Man, that was a must win for you. So then here's your who got screwed match of the week. 102-102, Fred and Drew. Scoring nicely. This is pretty much a must not lose for you, Drew, but now I'll get into this. You're going to be a special note at the end of this podcast, so keep watching. But you are hanging on by like the thread, like a tiny little thread for playoff role. And Fred, you need that win to get that bye. It's so crazy. You are playing for an extra movement, so it doesn't hurt you as much as it really hurt Drew. But there's a lot of things that need to go into Drew making playoffs. But before I get into that, I want to get right into stats. But anyway, got your stat attack right here. So what's really big is I ran all the numbers and who you're playing against and all that stuff, and I figured out just by averages and all that stuff how it should work out. And just to get right into it, as I went with myself, I'm averaging 107 on the year, and I've done averages straight up and down for everyone except for Danbury. I eliminated his week 1 just to not count that one and just put it in just to make that one more realistic. But to really talk about what's happening in front of us, so the way it ranks with who you're going against win percentage wise, Jameson and Jordan, you have the hardest battle ahead of you. Jordan doesn't really matter because you're out of it. Jameson and Jordan, your opponent's win percentage from now on is 614. And at the other end is Apollo with a 227 win percentage against, because you got Brendo and Pete, and then the Dan Burris who have a 318. The rest of the guys that have win percentages below 500 is myself, 455, and Bill and Kai. So those are huge for especially myself and Kai. Actually, Bill, that's a lot of playoff teams right there. Potential playoff teams having below 500. You guys at 500, Mitch, John, and Fred, and the ones right above that, Jason, Drew, and Bunker. Yeah, Brendo and Pete doesn't matter, but that's your ranking for win percentage wise. But just not special note to note, Pete, Brendo, you are mathematically just looking at it out, and Brian and Jordan, you are out due to the fact that Bunker and I play each other, and if we tie, there's still another team with 5 losses. So you're out. Mathematically, you're out. Even if Bunker and I tie. One of us wins, you're out. We tie, we're out. So that's obviously going to happen for that last little playoff spot at number 6. So you guys are out. Drew, your special note, this is what you need to have happen for you to have a chance to get into the playoffs, or get into the playoffs. So you need to win both your games. That's a given. You also need myself and Bunker to tie this week. That's going to be pretty hard, but it can happen. Then also, myself and Bunker have to tie this week, and we both have to lose the following weeks. So who we line up with the next week is another playoff team. So that's what you need to have happen. Also, you need Jason and Apollo to both go at least lose 1 and tie 1. They cannot win. They have to lose 1 and they cannot win. So they have to go 0-1, 0-1-1, or 0-2. You have to score a lot more points because you do not have enough points, but you're doing a pretty good job there. And Ja and Kai at least need to lose 1, which would happen if you beat Kai. So that one's in your hands. The Ja Man is not. A lot of this is not in your hands. You Drew, you are looking at Kai and Jason. You are averaging 103 points. Kai's averaging 99, so that's a win right there. But Jason is averaging 109. So this is the way everyone should wind up with records. I should be 7-6. Paolo should be 7-6. Bill should be 8-5. Jason should be 7-6. Mitch should be 9-3-1. Brian 4-9. Josh 6-6-1. Drew 5-6-1. Jamo 8-5. Fred 9-3-1. Jordo 4-9. Pete 3-10. Bunker 8-5. Burrs 8-4-1. Brendo 2-11, and Kai 5-7-1. And for a special little thing, to look on the screen right below you, I'll just put the numbers on there of how it should wind up, who should be in and out of the playoffs. Because I know a lot of you don't get this far in the podcast, but I have all the numbers right here of how everything's going to line up and crack down. So that's that. The matchup of the week is going to be myself versus Bunker, because that's huge right there. But it's also Drew and Kai, because they need those wins, like I said before. But that's your podcast for not that week. This is a podcast for football. But just to mention some other tidbits. All right, so crazy week for me with Pick'em. I almost went perfect except for the last two games. Obviously, I wasn't going to get the Chiefs one right, but I can't go against them, and I got the Eagles one wrong. But quite the turnaround. Not the best one, but it's worth noting. Survival is a 5-person race. Everyone's got one strike. Ew. And in hockey, number 1 and number 2 are button heads, Mitch and Apollo. I have a 4-game losing streak, but I'm still in playoff point, so that's all that really matters in that one. Sydney Kid's back. Drew put him in. He's paying attention. Attaboy. And good luck the rest of the way, and it's getting really exciting.